Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it is going to be on Frankenstein. This is Guillermo del Toro's reimagining of the classic tale by Mary Shelley. It's been adapted into multiple movies, and Guillermo del Toro is giving himself a shot at bringing his version to the big screen before it arrives on Netflix. And I was lucky enough to find a theater near me that was playing it, so I could not miss the opportunity. Now, in this movie, we follow Oscar Isaac as Victor Frankenstein as he creates his own creature brought to life, played by Jacob Elordi. I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, or Elordi, or whatever. He brings his creature to life, and because of that, disaster strikes, as not only for the creature, but himself. And from there, the creature tends to figure out exactly what he is, while Victor Frankenstein is kind of regretting his decisions, while also, wanting to be a good creator / father towards this creature. Now, I was really hyped for this movie. Anything you put Guillermo del Toro's name on, I am instantly going to anticipate. Anything that man does, I'm all on board, whether it be good or bad, though he's rarely ever did anything bad. I absolutely adored his adaptation of Pinocchio. I was so happy to see that win Best Animated Feature at the Academy Awards in 2022. Well, technically it was 2023, but it's a 2022 movie, but whatever. So I was happy to see that he was going to do more reimaginings of classic tales. And I'm happy to report this is another phenomenal work of art that he has brought to the big screen before straight to streaming. If you just so happen to come across this film at a theater, I highly advise checking it out. It's not particularly on the lines of horror, while Frankenstein is definitely on the lines of horror, whether it be the classic movie from the 30s or any other adaptation. Speaking of which, yesterday I just so happened to see the original classic Frankenstein film, the one from the 30s, in the theater, part of the classic Halloween-themed films that they've been re-releasing, specifically with, Hammer horror films. Like, they've been releasing all of them, so yeah, it was perfectly fitting for this film. Now, don't expect everything to fall in the same lines on Mary Shelley's tale, as, of course, this one has a much more darker tone to it, though pretty much any Frankenstein adaptation can. But this one takes things on a different level, as we go from two different perspectives. The first part being Victor Frankenstein's perspective, and the other side being the creature's perspective. And that's what he's known for. Most people originally thought the monster was called Frankenstein, when no, that's actually what the creator's last name is. So yeah, it's a common mix-up, but they call him the creature. And for the design of the creature, I didn't expect it to replicate, the classic version that we all know and love. But the way the design works here is actually pretty cool. Don't expect like those little screw things in his neck or that big head. Nah, it's a lot more on the themes of, what exactly is the creature? Like, is he an it? Is he a person? Like, throughout the film, or during his side of the movie, he tends to figure out what exactly he is. And that's where the emotional core lies in. Yes, it's something that we've seen in plenty of, experimentally made people type movies, like what exactly they are. But it's all handled in such a great way, and it's all thanks to the phenomenal performances and the excellent production design. It is all absolutely stellar, and it just leaps on the big screen that it's a shame that Guillermo del Toro had to partner up with Netflix for these movies, because they need to be seen on the big screen. That's what movies like Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water were for, to be experienced for the first time on the big screen. Like the layouts, and while they do have a heavy use of CGI here and there, the production design, the scales, and the scope, specifically in Frankenstein's lab, it was all absolutely spot on. And because this movie isn't able for everyone to see yet, because it's not out on Netflix yet, it comes out on November 7th, a week after Halloween, which to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's why I highly advise checking this film out while it's still playing in select theaters, if it is playing in select theaters, because I really connected with Frankenstein as a character thanks to Oscar Isaac's phenomenal performance. He is terrific in pretty much anything he's in, and the way he's performed here is absolutely stellar. It is slow moving, though it opens up in a way that I wasn't entirely expecting. That's why don't expect this to be like the full story, because this is his own version. While of course many people mention that, his own version of Pinocchio was pretty similar, it does have its own spin on it. That's what I really appreciate the most about the adaptations that he's been doing, is that he takes a different approach on it. It's very mature, it's very dark and grim, just like we expect in an adaptation of Frankenstein, and the way it is played out here, it's all thanks to Del Toro's terrific direction. However, there are some times where, the story is being told through narration, which is to be expected. No spoilers, by the way, but, it indicates that, it is going to happen from time to time. There are often times where I don't really feel like it fully needed it, and there are some moments that I felt were a little bit predictable. Not all the time, but it's during, like, the last act of the movie. Though, I will say, I thought the ending was terrific. I thought there couldn't have possibly have been a better way to end it. I thought it was great. And while the movie is 2.5 hours long, I did expect the movie to be very slow, but hey, that doesn't mean it can't be violent, because, yeah, it is very gritty when it comes to violence. Now, when you watch the movie because of Frankenstein, or the creature's look, you do expect it to be like some sort of, badass, action-heavy film, but hey, we've had those before and they don't turn out well. But no, it's still keeping the same spirit of Mary Shelley's original tale, just in a much more brutal, grim tone. And because it has that similar Guillermo del Toro feel to it, it's something that really manages to work and gives it more of that sense of tone, while it feeling like, very familiar, but also feeling like something that Del Toro would make in his own personal way. It's his vision of the story, and the way he brings it to life, no pun intended, like, in terms of, like, bringing things to life. Frankenstein, when it comes to, him bringing this tale to life, his own version of this tale, it's something that I expected and something that I hoped for when it comes to, his stories, when he makes original ones to, adapted ones. He really manages to bring them in the best possible way, feeling heavy when it comes to its cinematics and when it comes to its writing and dialogue. It may have that same familiar feel, but when it comes to Del Toro's style and the way he tells the story from his point of view, it really makes it feel all that more different. And when we have had, gritty, grim, more brutal versions of Frankenstein with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from the late 90s, I definitely feel like this is one of the better versions of that storyline, told in a much more brutal, grim fashion. And in the end, guys, Frankenstein is another work of art from Guillermo del Toro. It's another fantastic adapted tale with the Guillermo del Toro spin that I think manages to work in the best possible way. It's phenomenally performed from all the actors. Mia Goth also plays a very strong role. She was terrific in the movie as well. From the scope of the movie to the production design, it was all around a delightful film. And I love the fact that I got to see it on the big screen before it goes straight to streaming. If you do happen to stumble upon, finding this at a theater near you, and because the Halloween season is almost here, this is the perfect time to, check it out in the theater. Because it's, again, movies like this were made for the theater. I don't understand why they have to go straight to Netflix, but even though I have a Netflix account, I always want to get the opportunity to see these on the big screen if they are playing on the big screen near me, and I'm happy that I got to see this one on the big screen. Because movies like this prove that even though they're coming out on streaming, it goes to show why, if we do support films like this before they go to streaming, like when K-Pop Demon Hunters came out, it got a theatrical release for a brief period of time, only for one weekend, but it's coming back because it actually did very well during that weekend. So if movies like this tend to make money, it goes to show that we want to see them before they go straight to streaming. That's exactly what films like this were made for. It goes to show why movies were made, why they need to be experienced on the big screen before the small screen. And I can happily say with this film, Del Toro's career is still alive. Also, before I forget, during a screening of this movie, after the movie was shown, Guillermo del Toro was all like, buenas noches, and f*** AI. Yup, he actually said f*** AI in front of the audience. And I was just like, yes, this is why we love you. He says animation is cinema, and he also says f*** AI. That goes to show that he knows what makes a good movie, because I wasn't really a big fan of Pacific Rim. In fact, I didn't really like Pacific Rim all that much, but I do respect it for being visually striking, and the fact that no use of AI was used in that film, because it wasn't very common back then. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of it, but I do respect it. So hey, directors like that I will always have respect for, because they know what makes a good movie work. And hey, when I went to go see this movie, there was actually quite a big crowd. I guess it's because it's one of those movies that, is going to get a streaming release soon, and people want to go out and just see people care. And I'm happy to see people care. But yeah, even if you don't see this one on the big screen, I still recommend it regardless. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and maybe subscribe for more. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or maybe Blue Sky. Links are in the description. And I'll see you guys later. Word out.